Hey everyone, welcome to episode 322, Cheat Codes. Welcome to the Harmony in the Home podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Hutchison. I'm a counselor, a life coach, and most importantly, an imperfect mom doing this work right along with you. And my goal on our podcast is to go from chaos to calm, feel less frazzled, and have more fun within your four walls to have more harmony in your home. So, you know I love life hacks and anything that's a cheat code. So I'm going to give you a cheat code today about love languages that I talk about a lot, but I think I need to do a separate episode about it because I feel like this is where people get confused or mess up love languages. Not that you could ever mess it up or anything like that, of course, but there's a part of love languages that is not talked about enough. So before I start talking about that, I want to talk to you about the letter writing that I've been doing for almost a year now. I would not keep doing the letter writing if it was a scam. Most people think it's a scam, and that's okay that they do because I did too. I actually love the letter writing. I love doing it as a side gig. I love showing my kids entrepreneurship, and I love sharing it with other people who are now getting what they call our drops. And so if you are interested in learning about the letter writing and doing it too and getting drops of your own, you can send me an email or click the link for the training that I did. Now you can learn this on your own. I cannot imagine trying to learn it on my own, but you can learn it on your own by reading their terms of services and all the things. I wouldn't even know how to direct you, but that's why I want to do the training because I learned so much from it. I am not doing the training. I can lead you in the right direction based on your goals of which companies to write to, not to write to, what your expectations are. They all have their little idiosyncrasies. I know a lot about a lot of them, and I know a little about a lot of them too. So I can help you if you're interested in the US or you're in Canada, and let me know what state you're in because there are some states that is not included. However, they just adding a whole new module to the training program, completely included when you get the letter writing training, and it is letter writing that has nothing to do with converting. You can be in a state that is banned. There's lots of different options that they have personally vetted of different ways that you can write on your own time that has nothing to do with this. It's completely separate. I'm just digging in. They just released it yesterday and it looks amazing. So if you're interested, send me an email. Just say letter writing and I know exactly what you're talking about because I get so many emails every day about letter writing. So last week we talked about love languages, which I think I could talk about it for all 322 episodes. I could talk about love languages because it's just so powerful when you know this, and it will make your life so much easier and you will reduce so much friction in your vulnerable relationships and you'll just have a lot more fun. So last week we talked about the fight that I overheard at the concert. It was such a silly fight and it was such an avoidable fight because I knew exactly what was going on and they didn't know what was going on. And if you didn't hear, they were just having an argument about a car wash and she wanted him to wash her car. And I don't know, I couldn't tell if she wanted to do, it didn't sound like she wanted to actually have him wash it with his hands. It sounded like she wanted him to bring it to the actual car wash, which I'm thinking that's so easy, just switch cars for the day. But he also was asked the night before. She said it in a kind of a demanding tone, like she expected it. He was like, I'm not feeling it. And then he was also saying that he didn't feel very appreciated and he didn't want her to get in the habit of thinking he was going to do it every time. So he said something along the lines of like, well, I don't want to spoil you. And yeah, you learn to expect it and then not appreciate it. And then they just went back and forth, back and forth. It was a silly little spat. It was not like they were full on fighting by any means. But the spat was so interesting because you could tell that she was acts of service as her love language and he was words of affirmation. My random guess, I don't even know what these people looked like because they were sitting behind me. Now, to review love languages. So most people give love in the way that they feel it. And so they don't know all the other ways that there are to show it and feel it because they feel it in one way. So we're always looking at our relationships from our POV, point of view. You know how kids or teens abbreviate everything. And so there's 5 love languages. There's words of affirmation, acts of service, gift giving, physical touch, and quality time. Now, to go through each one of them, I can give you a couple examples. Like physical touch could be holding hands, hugging, just kind of like running into someone when they're walking by. That's in marriages. Now with kids, it could be with the hugs, the high fives, the hip bumps, all that stuff. That's really fun for kids. Quality time is obviously what you think of. Quality time, no screens around. We're just hanging out. We're spending time together, whether we're eating, whether we're doing an activity, sometimes even watching a movie. That's just quality time. And these are just simple, silly little examples. I could think of 25 more. Acts of service is doing things maybe around the house, washing the car, picking up the laundry, running errands, handling an email situation. If you see that your loved one is feeling overwhelmed in a certain area, just saying the words, how can I make this feel lighter? How can I help you? Is there anything I can do to help? Even that is making a deposit for the love languages if you're acts of service or if your loved one is acts of service. Another one is gift giving. Now, gift giving, we always think it's like, ooh, I gotta buy her the Gucci purse. It's not always monetarily. It could be like when I was teaching, gift giving could be giving kids a sticker. It could be giving them a bag of combos because you know that they like combos. Like if I'm at the store, David, for some reason, his favorite candy bar, you ready for it? It's a whatchamacallit. Whatchamacallits are so old, and I can't believe they're still around because I've never seen a human eat one. I've never seen one at like a concession stand. You just don't see them, but they're always at Walgreens, CVS. They're all at all the places. So I'll get them a whatchamacallit. As a way, we call them happy presents. My sister used to give me happy presents during my infertility journey when I have doctor's appointments. I'm like, what's this for? She's like, it's just a happy present. She just felt so bad for me that I felt so bad. So she's just like showering me with gifts. She's like, I don't know. I just bought you some Starburst. I'm like, why? She goes, I don't know. It's just a happy present. And so gift giving is another one. And then words of affirmation, complimenting their efforts, appreciation, gratitude, all that good stuff, whether it's in a note, whether it's on a text, an email, or verbally. So those are the examples of the love languages. Now, the way that you feel it. Now, when I was talking about the different ones and you're thinking, oh yeah, that's probably my love language based on your favorite thing, doesn't mean you like the other four. You usually have a primary love language and a secondary love language. And sometimes it's different for different people. You might have one love language at work, one love language at home, one love language with your kids, and one love language with your spouse, your siblings, and so on and so forth. So knowing your love language is very important. Now, what happens is people usually take the quiz and then they find out their love language and then they pass out the love language quiz to everybody else and they say, oh, by the way, this is my love language. And they put it on a banner and they put it on a poster and they pass it out like a flyer. Like, my love language is XYZ, so come fill me up. Now, here is the cheat code. Drum roll, please. That is not the intention of the love languages. The purpose of love languages and learning it about yourself and about others is to make intentional deposits using their love language as a guide. If you don't understand the love language because it's not a way in which you feel loved, then you need to do some Googling and say, what is a good acts of service I could do? What's words of affirmation I could do? Because it feels very unnatural for you because it's not the way that you receive love. Just because we receive it differently doesn't mean it's wrong that someone else receives it differently. This is what happens in relationships, is that we misfire. We are making deposits based on how we feel loved versus making deposits on how they feel loved. So you're going to make deposits on how they feel loved, expecting nothing in return. That is so much freedom because that is what loving someone else is. If you ever been in a new relationship, all you're doing is just firing on all cylinders and you're expecting nothing in return because you have so much abundance of love in your heart. You don't know what to do with it. And so you're just firing on all cylinders, probably all 5 languages. And then the one that is your primary, you're firing on full tilt like a love bomber, the positive connotation of love bomber. So here's the cheat code. Drum roll, please. Once you find out the love language of your loved ones, this is the cheat code, this is the life hack. When they are doing something that is in their love language department, then you get a free deposit without them even knowing it. Let's say that your love language is quality time. And I'm not going to say but, because when you say but, it negates everything you say before that word in the sentence. So let's say your love language is quality time and you've married someone who works a lot of hours. That's going to be very tough for you. Because you're going to say to yourself, if he or she loved me, why wouldn't they spend more time with me? They're always at work. They're always at work and they're not loving me. Now, when said spouse comes home and their love language is gift giving, let's say, they've taken the quiz, their love language is gift giving, and they come home and they bring you flowers, or they bring Starburst, or they bring you a happy present, or the Gucci purse, you are able to make a deposit into your own love cup because you know that they are out of the house working their little tushies off so they can buy you gifts, because that's the way that they feel love. So that's the way that they give it. Now, they're not working just so they can buy you gifts, because the gifts are usually, the whatchamacallits or the Starburst or the bag of combos. However, they might not be spending time with you at that moment, but they are showing love in the way in which they feel it. So you get to make a free deposit. That doesn't mean you can't ever say, hey, I'd like to spend some time with you on Saturday. Find out their love language. It's probably gift giving. So maybe you want to leave some gifts out for them. Not expecting them to all of a sudden spend quality time with you, but you're doing it because you know that that makes the person feel loved. And that expression of love benefits you. When we do something for someone else without expecting anything return, it's a double deposit. We know we're making deposit for them, but it also feels good to love on the people that we love. But most time the ego gets involved and they play the scorekeeping game. It's very tit for tat. Well, he wasn't spending time with me on Saturday, or she wasn't spending time with me on Saturday, so I'm not going to buy any gifts. I'm not going to fill up their love cup. What have they done for me lately is what our ego does. And I would say if you married a good human, you love without expecting anything in return. And you will get an abundance in return, because once you drop your wall, they will drop their wall, because they're unconsciously putting up a wall too, because they don't want to get hurt, just like we don't want to get hurt. But when you know this cheat code and you find out other people's love languages, you'll know they are expressing love without them even knowing that they're expressing love. Just because it's different than ours doesn't mean that it's wrong. When you know this, it's true freedom, because then you get to love without expecting anything in return, and you'll find that they will start loving without expecting anything in return. So find out your love language, but more importantly, find out the love language of those around you. Make intentional deposits, and you can make deposits into your own love cup based on their love language when you see them doing the thing in the way in which they feel love. And that, my friend, is a full-on bank account of love on both parties. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Hey, mamas, thanks for listening. If you had any ahas, clicks, or those lightning bolt moments while listening, you have to check out my free parenting bootcamp, where we take all of this to the next level and we try to create even more awakenings for ourselves so that we can connect more with our kids and never yell at them again. You can sign up at www.coachingkelly.com. And if you really want to fill up my love cup, send me an email of what your aha was, what your click was. What was that lightning bolt moment while you were listening? I want nothing more in life than for you to have harmony in your home and to learn how to be an imperfect mom like me, which allows your kids to be imperfect too, each and every day. Thanks for listening.